There we go. So success is 90% how we think, 10% skill set. So what I want you to do is I want you to just take a piece of paper and I want you to draw 5 circles on that sheet of paper. And inside each one of those circles, I want you to write spiritual in one of them. It could be the first one. God, family, then business. The next circle, I want you to write family. The third circle, I want you to write business. The fourth circle, I want you to write health. In the fifth circle, I want you to write finances. Now, what I want you to do next is on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you've got 1 foot in the grave, you're almost dead, and 10 being you are on fire. I mean, you are crushing it. Where are you? Where are you right now in each one of those circles? Now, listen to the following thoughts. Our thinking, the internal lens through which we see the world, creates a pathway to success or failure. In other words, if you wrote down a number of 2, 3, 4, that would be leaning towards the failure side. And I would tell you that what got you there was your thinking. To accept responsibility, before you get mad and jump off the call, keep listening. To accept responsibility for our choices includes becoming aware of and accepting responsibility for our thinking. Despite what you may believe, outside influences are not responsible for where you are in life mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, or financially. You alone have chosen the path to your present destination. Decisions are an outward expression of our thinking. How is your thinking affecting where you are in life today? How is your thinking affecting where you are in your business today? So picking up from where we left off yesterday, let's jump right back into follow-up. And let me tell you how this works in reference to how mindset and skill set come together. Now remember, if mindset is 90% of success, then that means 10% is skill set. And as we've been talking about for the last week, if you master your mindset, I mean, you're crushing it. However, you ignore the skill set, you're still gonna fail, because having the greatest mindset in the world without the right skills leads to failure. And if you master the skill set and you have the wrong mindset, you're gonna fail. It takes both. Now, let's talk about follow-up and how this comes together. If I'm following up with Alex, and Alex were to say to me, if I ever hired a real estate agent, I've already got an agent who's a good friend of mine, or I have a family member who's a real estate agent, so John, I could never hire you. Now, if I've got the wrong mindset, I hear rejection, right? And you guys laugh at me when I say things like, cool, I'll call you next week. When the seller says, John, I'm never gonna hire you, and my response is, awesome, talk to you in a week. You guys laugh when I say that, but understand that truly is my mindset. That truly is the way that I'm thinking. Because when I'm talking to you, I don't hear no. It doesn't exist in my vocabulary. If it did, I'd stop calling. Now, if I stopped calling, is Alex ever gonna hire me? Nope. Now, I may have great skills. However, my mindset just caused me to fail. If you YouTube Bill Porter and you watch the video on Bill Porter's life, Bill Porter is a man who was born with severe cerebral palsy in Portland, Oregon. 2020 or 60 Minutes did an interview on the life of Bill Porter. This was 20 years ago. And it's on YouTube, you could find it. And Bill's parents were told by the state of Oregon that he would never work, that they should put him in a home, that he would never be able to support himself. And his father passed away when Bill was young. His mother raised him, and his mother raised him to never give up. His mother raised him to ignore the critics. And when Bill started looking for a job, he was rejected by company after company after company, until finally one company hired him, the Watkins Company in Portland, Oregon, only if he accepted the worst territory they had, selling household goods door to door. And he would walk up to 8 miles a day in pain, knocking on doors, getting rejection after rejection after rejection. Craig Sarnoff, thank you so much for putting that in the chat. There you go, guys. There's the link. And he would keep going back. And people would slam the door in his face and they would tell him, I'm never going to buy for you. Never come back. And he would go back. And he would knock on the door until finally somebody bought something from him. And then somebody else. And then somebody else. Until he became the #1 salesperson in the world for the Watkins Company. Until Hollywood made a movie on his life called Door to Door. Until he visited the White House more than 6 times and received special designations for his achievements in life. Bill Porter rejected rejection. And when they asked him later on what he thought when those individuals were telling him that they would never buy from him, that he should go away and never come back, his response was, I didn't believe them because I knew they needed what I was selling. Now, I'm going to tell you that they didn't need what he was selling. He was selling household goods. The world did not need what Bill Porter was selling. What the world needed was Bill Porter. And when I ran a sales team prior to real estate for 10 years, and then I ran the Dietz team for 13 years, my message to my salespeople was always, just go be Bill Porter. You want to succeed? Go be Bill Porter. Master the mindset that leads to success, and don't forget the skill set. All right, so let's pick up from where we left off yesterday. We were talking about following up. And follow-up leads to appointments, that leads to listings. So when I recognize opportunity, the way I'm going to close for a listing appointment is always the same. And it's so simple. It's, hey, Diane, by the way, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So I've got an appointment with Diane. Now, the next item on our skill set list is number 7, which is delivering consultative listing presentations to sellers and buyers. And this is the 14-point listing presentation. Now, I'm going to pick up halfway through that 14-point listing presentation, and we're going to replay a listing presentation today. So if you were not on any of my calls when we did this earlier, you get a replay. And I'm looking for somebody who I haven't role played with yet. Hold on a second. You're going to be, hey, Angel, will you talk to me?
Yes.
Cool. So Angel is my seller. All right. So Angel, we're picking this up from the moment I arrive at your front door. Guys, this is your Kodak moment. This is your opportunity to make a great first impression, right? And my appointment with Angel is for 4 o'clock, and I'm going to knock on her door. Oops, my dogs are going to bark. I'm going to knock on her door, 4 o'clock sharp. Now, guys, I coach to the basics, and I mean I coach to the basics, right to the point where I would tell you, knock on the door, don't ring the doorbell. why in the world would I tell you knock on the door and don't ring the doorbell? Because that just doesn't sound like it's important, right? Here's the reason.
doorbell,
Go ahead,
Knocking on the
Michael.
door is serious.
There
the
you
door
go.
always
Okay.
works. The doorbell doesn't.
There you go. Yeah. And you know, when I read How to Master the Art of Listing and Selling Real Estate by Tom Hopkins, he taught in that book that you cannot ring a doorbell enthusiastically, but you can knock on the door enthusiastically. Here's the other reason. If they've got a baby at home and the baby is in the back of the house and you knock on the door, you might have woken up the baby. Now the baby is sitting at the listing table with you versus knocking on the door. Maybe you're not waking up a sleeping child. Just a simple thought, okay? And knock on the door. Now, when Angel answers the door, hi, Angel, John Dietz. We had an appointment for 4 o'clock and it's 4 o'clock. May I come in?
Sure.
There you go. Big smile. You've got 10 seconds to make a great first impression. Now, dress professional, tie, dress shirt, sport jacket, pay attention to the details, because if you show up dressed professional and you got one thing out of place, that's what they're going to remember. So as soon as Angel greets me at the door, Angel, may I come in? Don't just walk into their house. That's called breaking and entering. Wait till they invite you in the house. Angel, may I come in?
Sure. Come on in.
Awesome. Perfect. Angel, so would you like me to take off my shoes, or are my shoes okay?
No, you're fine. Shoes are fine.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the little things. So I've got my backpack, which has all of my materials that I need in it for this appointment. This is over my shoulder. And Angel, may I set my things down at the kitchen table? And then I would love if you would take me on a tour of your home.
Absolutely.
Cool. So I'm setting my things down at the kitchen table because that's where the appointment's going to happen. I'm not asking, where would you like to sit? Because if I ask, where would you like to sit? Angel may say, well, the living room's cool. And that's not the best environment for us to have a great listing conversation. Business gets done at the kitchen table. Now, Angel, as we tour your home, I'm going to write lots of notes and I'm going to ask lots of questions, because this is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home.
Okay. Sounds
Cool.
good.
Now, as we're touring Angel's home, I am taking notes and I am talking as I'm taking notes. So I would call these talking notes. In other words, wow, what a beautiful family room, vaulted ceilings, crown molding, hardwood floors. Wow, you've got beautiful new windows. When did you replace the windows?
2016.
2016. So I'm writing down new windows in 2016. This is important because when Angel hires me to sell her house and I'm marketing her property, I am going to write new hurricane impact windows replaced in 2016. Replaced in 2016 is super important because if you write new, it means new. And if you sell that house to someone and they move into the house and say the windows aren't new, they're 4 years old, I want new windows. Guess what? As a real estate agent, you might be buying them new windows. Write the year that the windows were replaced, or use the word newer versus new. Okay, now as we continue the tour, I'm going to ask questions. I'm taking notes. Here's the key point I want you to get before we get to the kitchen table. Like their home. Be enthusiastic. Don't stage their house. Remember what 3 things the sellers are asking themselves when they meet with you. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? And do you know what you're doing? And this is not the time to walk through their property and start making suggestions on what they need to do in order to get their home sold. Like their home. Now we're sitting at the kitchen table. Angel, thank you so much for meeting with me today. It is always a privilege and an honor to meet with someone and discuss the possibility of the Dietz team representing them in the sale of their home.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Always lead with gratitude. Now, Angel, before we get started, I'd like to share my mission statement with you. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Perfect. So my mission, Angel, is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. Now, because of that mission statement, whenever I meet with a potential seller, one of three things happen. One of those three things will probably happen today. Either number one, they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer and they hire me, which is awesome. The second thing that occasionally happens is they don't hire me, and that's not so awesome. And then the third thing that happens sometimes is I may choose not to represent them in the sale of their home.
Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't take my home as a listing. You're here.
There you go, guys. There you go. That and that's why I paused, because I'm looking for that question. And the response is, Angel, I'm so glad you asked that. And you're actually going to love the answer. You see, if I feel that a seller has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That's good to hear.
Perfect. So Angel, in order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I just need to ask you a couple questions. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so great and 10 being awesome, what's one thing that needs to happen in the sale of your home for you to consider this experience a 10?
Well, I would have to sell my home for the highest price and make the most money out of it.
Okay. So, and I'm writing notes. Sell my home for the highest price in their words. Now, Angel, tell me what that looks like to you.
Well, I'm thinking my home is worth about $350,000 right now as it sits.
Okay, cool. And I'm writing that down. $350,000. Great. Now, Angel, tell me, why is that important? What would that do for you?
Well, that would let me pay off the mortgage and have a down payment for my next house.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Angel, if I could help you accomplish a second goal so that this would be a 10+ experience, what's the next goal?
I would like to have it under contract by, I'd say, 3-4 days. I don't really want a lot of people in my house walking through it. I'd like to be done with the process quickly.
Okay, so you'd like to get a contract within, tell me the number of days again?
3 to 4 days, maybe.
3 to 4 days. And what does that do for you?
Well, then I don't have to be inconvenienced by people coming in and out and me leaving and taking my dog out of the house and keeping it, you know, spotless and just having to leave whenever you say someone's coming.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Angel, if we could accomplish just one more goal so that this is a 10++ experience, what's the third goal?
The third goal would be if you would take less commission so I don't have to pay quite so much for you to do your job.
Okay. I understand. And what would that do for you?
Well, it would put more money in my pocket.
Okay. So by the way, guys, off script, is that true?
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
No, not
Not
necessarily.
really.
Yep. You're all right. Michael, you hit it. Maybe, maybe not. Dick Dillingham would say, it depends. And if you've never been in a Dick Dillingham class, you don't get the joke. But if you've been in Dick Dillingham's class, he says it depends about 1,000 times. It depends. So once you've gone through a needs analysis, which what this is a needs analysis, the next step is to prioritize needs, and then the next step is to trial close. So Angel, if we could accomplish one of these goals and barely miss the other two, what's number one?
The money.
Okay. So if we were able to get $350,000 or as close to $350,000 as possible, however, it took longer than 3 or 4 days to get a contract on your property, and my fee is not negotiable, that would be a 10?
Yes, I would say that would be a 10.
Cool. All right, guys, let's stop right there. Now, we're helping Angel self-discover what her motivation is, because prior to having this conversation, she's not even clear on what her goals are. And by going deep, we're finding out what the real goal is, because sell my home in less than 30 days is not the real goal. It's deeper. And we need to find out what that motivation is. Also, by prioritizing the needs, we're accomplishing two things. I'm setting the table to not lower my fee if that's one of the goals, because Angel just told me that it's not important if I lower my fee as long as she gets the price she needs. And she said it. I didn't say it.
Right.
Right. Now, Angel, if I could demonstrate that I'm the right agent for the job, by the way, for everyone who has taken the language of sales, for everyone who understands neuro-linguistic programming or who has attended BOLD, you hear all of the embedded commands, of course. And Angel, if I could demonstrate that I'm the right agent for the job in order to accomplish all of these goals, would you hire me today?
Not right now. I do have 3 other agents I will be interviewing, and I want to see what they say.
Okay, awesome. Let's get started. By the way, if she says yes, the answer is awesome. Let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trial close. Okay, so every word of that was script, practiced, drilled, rehearsed, internalized, to the point where it is unconscious competence. I don't have to think about it, right? It's just there. It's a conversation that I've had thousands of times. And I'm not saying that to brag. That's not my point. Here's my point. You could do it too. You could do it better than I can. And when you've internalized your listing presentation to the point where you know you've got it, you're going to knock it out of the park. What's that going to do for your real estate business? All right, take yourself off mute. Talk to me. It's 9:01.
Would you mind repeating that sentence that you said, if I can show you tonight that I am the right agent, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah,
Could you
so
repeat
Paige,
that?
if I was able to demonstrate that I'm the right agent for the job in order to get all of these goals accomplished, would you hire me today?
Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
John, after 20 plus years in real estate, I just can't get enough of scripts, man. And that's one reason why I'm on the calls every freaking day. So thank you.
Thank you, Corey. It is my
Every-
pleasure. It is my pleasure. Okay, guys, so we're
I
good.
have been,
Okay, talk to me.
I have been working very hard to get out of my head and out of my own way. And I will say that due to these webinars and with you as well as Shaw, I finally feel like I am able to move forward. So I thank you.
Yeah, Carolyn, of course. You are not only able to move forward, you are able to achieve any goal that you can set. Think of where you want to be 12 months from now. What does that look like? And then make it happen. It's a choice.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Give me one more aha, guys. We got to have at least one more before I let you go.
Hey, John,
Talk to me, Valerie.
I love the additional touches that you have for the listing presentation. And actually, you know, it's a little different than the, I'm going to take a look through your house so I can see it in the eyes of a buyer. And I see this as having lots of benefits, like you said, because you're gathering information that you can use. And that's a new perspective. I like it.
Yeah, Valerie, absolutely. And I realize that it's not the same listing presentation that you learn in BOLD, by the way. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's just my listing presentation. This is what I did to list an average of 12 to 15 homes every single month for more than 10 years. And it worked for me. I hope it works for you. All right. All right, guys, it's time to get to work. It's 9:04, 20 contacts, 20 conversations. Remember, the purpose of a conversation is to get an appointment, get a referral, or add somebody to your database. Every single day, get face-to-face with at least one person who's thinking of selling a home or thinking of buying a home. It doesn't matter if they're thinking of selling tomorrow or 30 days from now, a month from now, or a year from now. I want you to get face-to-face with them because all leads are good. There are no such thing as bad leads, just real estate agents who don't follow up. Success happens in follow-up, so does failure. Mindset is what controls that. If you reject rejection, then you will continue to follow up forever. Don't judge opportunity away. Stay in curiosity. Send out 5 handwritten personal notes today and then follow up forever. We are not judged by the number of times we fail. We are judged by the number of times we succeed. And the number of times we succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times we can fail and keep trying. All right, guys, make it a great day. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Take care.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
John.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
John.